people! You're turning on the burr again! Let's fucking go! Significant decline in inflation means number goes fucking up! Burr goes fucking up! We're going to the goddamn moon, boys! All right, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome into the last NFT Live of the week on the Web3 network, and we have ourselves a banger here. We have Biggie Poppins, who wasn't even supposed to show up today on the show. We have, of course, that Finch guy. We'll get into what he's got going on here just in a quick second, and of course, our humble Web3 Sherpa, who also has a man bun, Gifted. Biggie, let's start with you, man. I thought you weren't going to be on today's show.
Dude, the rugs just don't stop. They happen in IRL as well. So I woke up this morning, I got an email, flight canceled. I've been dealing with like double-digit IQ idiots all morning long. And I was like, man, I need my homies. I need to blow off some steam. I need to FUD something. Let's get on it.
It's great to see you, dude. I'm hoping to ease some of your worries and some of your pain here over the last couple of weeks, man. I appreciate you showing up again here. Gifted, what's up, my homie?
You already know, coming straight fresh from another amazing GM Web3. So I gotta eat a little bit because I haven't eaten all day. Apologies for that. But yo, it was a great show. Thirst Trap Thursday is always a good time over there on GM Web3. It got a little spicy, got a little out of control. We had to rein it back in a couple times, but we made it all the way back around. And we also got to feature some awesome artists and community builders like Friends House, like Manny Links, like Be Creative, some of the OGs in the space that have been doing it for the last couple of years and keep showing up to empower artists. And that's always a blessing. And that's the ethos of what this whole network is all about, right? It's about trying to build this community in a sustainable way with the real people that care, are here for the long term, and empowering artists and the culture and, you know, educating, onboarding, all of that. So it was great.
Two
Happy
questions for you. Do you have a little DJ in you? And do you want some?
Yeah, I think I got a big DJ in me. And do I want some more? Yeah, that's a solid.
It got weird.
Line,
it got weird on the morning show. Yeah. All right. We're gonna move on to cooler heads here. Finch, my brother, my like old school friend here. It's good to see you, my dude. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. I left the headphones at home, so I hit the gas, and I was going way too fast through the residential neighborhoods, but I made it. I was up early today, so if the brain's not firing, give me a little break. But I'm always ready.
How much did you pay in gas? I thought it's pretty expensive here recently. I just made an Ether gas joke. Yeah,
it's not good. I spent gas minting a couple things today, which we'll talk about, and then yeah, was blowing out some IRL gas as well, but. You know, we made it. All good.
We made it, and we are going to make it here on the show today. Hash Rhymes, Don R getting in early saying our vibe, our tribe. Manny Links in the chat. Mike Erlinson saying the FOMO for BTC NFTs even more hot and heavy today.
So speaking on that real quick, because, you know, Mike's down here talking about
don't bring me into a rabbit hole early.
Speeding, putting his foot on the gas, speeding, dangerously around, and moving too quickly sometimes. We had our friend of the show, NFT Cutie, coming on sharing projects like Ordinal Apes. There's all these projects popping up, and I took one look at it and I was like, pump the brakes on this, because there's all these like. They're basically doing what a lot of artists were doing with other chains and like stealing art. They're just taking Bored Apes, putting them onto BTC, and they're doing these OTC transactions. There's no trustless, smart contract protections. This shit can go sideways real fast. So just make sure before you ape into any of these crazy Bitcoin plays that come up, there's going to be a ton of scams. There's going to be a bunch of new scams popping up. This shit is going to move fast, and people are going to FOMO because they think that like this is the new gold rush. which maybe there's some truth to that. But if you get your ass taken for a ride because you hop into the wrong fucking Discord or click the wrong link, you're going to set yourself back years. So be freaking careful. DYOR. Nothing that we do here is financial advice, but we can tell you that there's a bunch of fuckheads. There's a bunch of scammers in the space that are going to be taking advantage of this FOMO right now.
Okay, speaking of Bitcoin NFTs, ordinal apes, and things like this is the tweet for today's NFT Live. It would help us a lot if you could go and retweet it. I just dropped it in chat for you all there along with the GM poll this morning. We just pressed live. Squashman, I see ya. We'll get to some of your comments here in a second. Nox Darkness, Arafim, Mike Erlinson. Appreciate you guys showing up early. All right, we're talking Bitcoin NFTs and ordinals. We've been doing so all week. We've also got some updates across the board. I feel like for the last 48 hours, it's just been like a rush of quick news, basically, which is just a lot of projects dropping some things. Nothing like really hot and heavy. Dookie Dash finished up. Maybe we can have some Yuga Lab show action.
Chungos, excuse me.
We're not talking Chungos. We're not talking.
We don't chungo on NFT Chungo. Yeah.
Main topics for today, I think we will get into since Mike is in the Bored Ape ecosystem and has been, although you're in and out, Mike. I feel like you're kind of like, hey, I want to sell here. I like this topic action that I can sell into, and then maybe I can get in lower. Are you in the Bored Ape ecosystem now?
It's a very polite way of saying that I fucked it up multiple times from mint all the way to here we are today. So appreciate that. No, well, other deed, but no, I don't think no apes,
counts.
No MAYC right now. Farming some ape coin, does that count?
Absolutely.
But not even just the ape coin side on Bendao. So I'm not even, I'm like barely.
It counts.
It does count.
I'm filling the tires on that bus with air. That's about it.
You've got interest. You got a stake.
The other main topic I've got for today, and like I said, we have a ton of just hitting on news from around the space, so we'll be jumping all over the place. But the other main story that I wanted to hit and kind of have a conversation around was Ether Orcs, like one of the first on-chain gaming projects, kind of folded up shop over the last 48 hours. So I kind of want to have a discussion on, Web3 projects, NFT projects, just folding up shop. We don't talk a lot about that when it comes to, we talk a lot about rugging, right? Like the instant rug and like what happens there, but we don't talk about, hey, 2 years down the line, we didn't really find product market fit. We don't have any runway. What do we do? I feel like the NFT space needs to kind of have that conversation. So we'll get into that as well here on today's episode. But yeah, like I said, a lot of quick news. Any updates in the NFT space? Anybody minting anything right now? Finch, I know specifically you threw in our Discord little group there, our Alfalfa group.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Strangers
buddy?
HQ,
I mentioned this. Yeah,
Yeah.
Strangers. I didn't talk about Strangers. I'm interested to know more about that. But there's another one, like a travel project that you've been talking a lot about.
That's the one. Yeah, Strangers.
Oh, that is Strangers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have much alpha on it per usual. But effectively, it got me because it reminds me a lot of seeing Doodles early stage, right? Three primary team members all have a ton of history in hospitality, travel space. They've worked in Web3 for a good bit. They've also worked with other large corporations and help them get into the space. The mint is live right now, the public mint. So we can dive into that a little bit here now if you want, Q.
Finch, we have a great run on this show of live mints. Like our track record of live mints on this show is fucking fantastic. So if
you're gonna mint, are you gonna mint? I already minted mine. I'm done.
I already minted mine as well, and I also have a couple of golden cameras. I know you do too, Mike. So we're going to be getting some airdrops as well, right?
Yep. Yeah. So they did it a good way. It's been pretty smooth. It started off many months ago, where basically everybody who was involved in the community submitted a photo, and then that photo was stored on the blockchain. There's a little bit of confusion. There's some funny story there, but everybody who did that, was in the community from day one. This was before they announced the PFP, anything like that. So it was really focused around photographers to start. Whereas now Strangers HQ brings that community with it, but has much more of a focus on travel and kind of being being this like ancillary bonus when you travel is their whole pitch, right? So they're not planning trips for you necessarily. Certainly there will be like some giveaways and things like that, I'm sure. But the goal here is more so that wherever you go, no matter when you're flying, who you're meeting with, wherever it is, hopefully Collective Strangers is there and the community is there in this kind of really awesome local travel feel to help you in really interesting ways. So again, like a lot of it's super unknown. But for me, I've been super impressed with the team. They're really active on Discord. The community's strong because of the way they've kind of slowly played this stuff out. So I'm big into it. I'm like probably 2.5 to 3 deep on it, and I think it's going to be one that, especially as broader crypto markets and the economy and everything starts to turn, that they're going to really be primed to do some pretty interesting things. So, like I said, the mint is live right now. The public mint, it's 0.09 ETH to mint. Obviously, do your own research, all that fun stuff. Looks like about 45% has been minted. So get them while they're hot.
So a little backstory here. I've got the Collective Strangers website pulled up here. Biggie, you were talking about the cameras, the golden cameras. It says the membership is your entry to the collective. 1,000 private members dedicated to the progression of Web3 native photography and art. So you guys are both in on the original Collective Strangers drop, and this was like was this an airdrop, or is this so it gets you access to the Strangers HQ that is apparently an OpenSea launchpad mint?
So both, right? Don't go and buy the cameras now. The cameras effectively acted like a whitelist or an allow list,
not financial advice.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. So if you buy the camera now, like, it doesn't get you the airdrop. You would have had to gone and do the whole pre-mint process and all that. So your best bet, if you're interested now, is just going straight to OpenSea and minting from there. They've got a big partnership with OpenSea. They're on the front page. They were doing AMAs with them, all that fun stuff. So for now, don't worry about the cameras, just to avoid confusion. That was your whitelist before.
Did you get any insight through, since you've kind of been following this process, Mike, did you get any insight on how these OpenSea Launchpad partnerships work? Like, is this centralized on OpenSea? Is it through their own contract? They're just getting like some marketing and promo, or like, what does this look like? Because I've been speculating and I don't actually know exactly what the contract details of this are.
This also leads me, Mike, before you answer this also leads me into why you should be on the show more. We had to like bully Mike into coming on the show here in our Discord chat, because he says, I'm not bringing any alpha. You've already done it like 5 minutes into the show. So we appreciate it. You got a lot of good info.
That's fair, man. Yeah. I don't, like contract details, I imagine with OpenSea, it's an interesting way for them to kind of to generate revenue in a new way. I mean, obviously there's some marketing. Strangers HQ is the only thing on the front page of OpenSea when you click the alt tab. So I don't know the exact details. Like, did OpenSea invest in Collective Strangers and Strangers HQ? Like what's the, do these guys work at OpenSea or something? Do they know the folks there? There's definitely a partnership of some kind. But I think largely it just kind of helps for visibility during a time when, you still as a new project really need it. So it's been good to see. Like, it wasn't something that I knew about months ago. It's only been the last week or so.
My speculation, though, is that they're injecting their own code, or they have an OpenSea smart contract that they're stamping on all of these, and that's how they keep it within their ecosystem and compete with the other marketplaces. Sure. So I'm interested in both the business deal of it, but I mean like the smart contract side of how this is actually working, because again, we don't know. So if anybody knows. If anybody can look at the contract or knows the in and out of the deal, come on the show. I want to know how the OpenSea Launchpad is working and what that means for these NFTs. Because if these aren't fully decentralized assets and you're stuck in OpenSea, it's the same thing as just minting using the OpenSea contract.
Gift just wants a reason. He just wants a reason to pounce all over OpenSea and just tear it apart.
Their whole business model is keeping the volume on their marketplace and keeping Blur out. Blur's taken half of the fucking market share in 5 months. This is a top concern for OpenSea.
It feels like them like putting in some type of like rule set or like into the code that it can't be traded anywhere else, that would receive like way more backlash and would be bad for them from a public
Yeah,
sentiment standpoint.
or maybe it's just not being advertised because these projects are getting free promotion and selling out their projects, so they're not going to go fucking like stir up shit right now. That's what I don't know. Somebody come and correct me. I could be totally wrong. But real quick, something very important to say up top here is that this is not financial advice, and the information was found publicly on the internet. Opinions shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team. All information is public domain. Please, DYOR, or do your own research. I have to say, though, I'm trying to mint one. Gwei is cray right now. It's over 60. It's like 70 Gwei right now. So I'm going to try and get one before they mint out. But
my man just said Gwei is cray. All right, we're moving into.
You like that?
We're gonna move into.
Oh, that's my shot there.
Yeah.
I was
what
trying
do you
to
got?
find mics.
Oh yeah, dude, I have no idea. The funny thing with this process was like you submitted your own shot. That one's amazing. In classic Mike fashion, like I didn't read a lot of the instructions. I just kind of read what I needed to make sure, I was involved. So I didn't spend much, I just snapped a picture or whatever and submitted it. My partner at Parada, I submitted one for him, which was a picture of him with Arthur Hayes at a conference back in 2019. So now permanently on the blockchain is him smiling with Arthur Hayes. But anyway, once this full process happened and everybody submitted, then you get a random photo from somebody else, right? So this was earlier days.
It's really cool.
Was this 2022 or 2021, Biggie? Do you remember?
It was last year. It was last year that they launched, and it was really cool. It was kind of like what would you call it? It's like a Secret Santa kind of thing where you took a picture, you submitted it, and then they did a random number generator, and so you received somebody else's picture, and somebody else got yours, and it was like the collector, the collector's first edition and stuff. I thought it was pretty neat. I still have mine of a cat by a window. It was nice.
Nice.
Some big city.
Yeah, it was cool. It's a unique idea. I wish I'd spent a little more time. Mine was a picture of a tree with the sun coming through the leaves and whatnot. Cool picture. But then I got a hand painted drawing photo thing of some guy and his kid. So then I was like, oh well, this is kind of weird. And I was like, if anybody wants this, I'll swap it out to you. Nobody's.
Hey, you never know. It could be Elon's kid or something down the line.
Right.
Super rare, right?
Is there such a thing as too fungible? Or wait, no, too non-fungible? I mean,
of course,
too non-fungible. Yeah.
Is there something? Yeah.
All right, we're getting off on a fantastic pace this morning. We got a little alfalfa there to start your Thursday. A couple comments that I want to get to in chat that we'll get to in a second. There's no way Lucrece could be at 5 ETH right now, right? It's 0.5. Is it 0.5 ETH? Space smells like saying Lucrece at 5.
If it is, I gotta go. No way.
Knox is in chat saying Broken Sea is problematic in too many ways, and Space Smells Like is asking a question, and we do have to get to the rest of the housekeeping, but I guess it's a topic that we can discuss real quick. Once the airdrop is over, do we think Blur will lose some market share, or I'm guessing some volume, right? Some volume market share there back from OpenSea. What is everyone's take there?
I see people very happy with Blur. Just recently, I one of my Discords, I saw a whole bunch of people discussing the merits of it, because I guess certain people got discounts with NFT nerds, and so they were discussing about whether renewing it or not, and a lot of people were chiming in that they're very happy with Blur, and it can do pretty much most of the things that NFT nerds can do. And so I think they've been smart maybe in prolonging the release of the airdrop, in that I think they've given ample time for the people that enjoy that UX to really get used to it. And so we'll see how sticky it is, but just from the social discussions that I've been looking at, I think people are going to stay, which is good.
I'm going to take the other side of things and say that I think it's going to slow them down a good bit, just because of all, like, you see, at least in Doodles, right? Like, that's one that I track a lot. Like, you see so many flipping half a dozen times in the same day, and it's all within 0.01 ETH. A lot of that was with the airdrop. I don't know what the status is with the airdrop or anything there, but it just screams like a LooksRare situation where LooksRare had the same thing with their staking and whatnot, and that's kind of slowly died. So for me, when I'm kind of relaxing at night, smoking a little smoke, where do I go? I go to OpenSea. Like, it's just first mover is so big in crypto, and I find it really hard for Blur, especially in a market like this, to kind of not just even like continue to gain, but maintain. It just doesn't smell right for me.
It's interesting that you're not, because I hear the narrative all the time that Blur is like more of the traders marketplace, right? It like has the order book kind of feel. It's interesting that you're going to OpenSea there, Mark, but I guess you're.
I love that they took the two different sides, because it sets me up to go right down the middle here. I think, because I think you're both making really good points that have validity. I think that, yes, this airdrop mechanic that they've so brilliantly strung along for the last however many months has given a lot of incentive for people to be there, and when that's gone, they will have some of that engagement drop off. I think it will be less than anticipated, though, because of what Biggie said, and that's that, and Q pointed out, they actually have a product that is unique and different, that is targeting a little bit different segment of the user base. The problem with Coinbase and some of these other NFT marketplaces is that they were trying to be OpenSea. They weren't doing anything different or unique or targeting a different market. Blur, I think, is. Blur has a unique product that is not like OpenSea, that is targeting those hardcore traders and has different incentives already built in. And additionally, like somebody here is saying in the chat, they're very smart at incentives. Why aren't they going to do more? I'm sure they'll come up with some more things to do as well, because they've shown how good they are at this type of thing. So I just think there will be some die off. The engagement won't be as frothy. There won't be as much FOMO to get in before this big airdrop. I don't think it's going to be as much of a drop off as you might normally see, because they've done a good job with the platform. It's actually a good product.
EOS Watchdogs is in chat saying, "What up, potheads?" Wag me. EOS Watchdogs saying, "Broken Sea." And Marty's in chat saying, "Blur will continue to dominate." I think we can probably continue to have this conversation throughout the episode. So I
think Marty's comment is actually a good example. When you didn't see people getting super amped up about fucking X2, Y2, and LooksRare. Maybe LooksRare had a little bit around their airdrop, but people really fucking like Blur. You know what I mean? Like, they've adopted this as their platform. There's a contingent of people. That's why I don't think it'll be as crazy of a drop off. It's a good product, and it's doing something different and unique.
I'm more of a fan of back alley Discord DMs for my Bitcoin NFTs, so I'm not.
Yeah, OTC all the way. Yeah.
So, hey, we got another. Spaceballs was talking about a drop, a mint for Lucrece. So, if you're not familiar with Lucrece, GIF and Biggie both tried to get me to buy into this open edition in January. Didn't. I regretted it heavily. Did not take. Apparently, there's another mint coming. So, what's going on here? Does anybody have the alfalfa here on this one? DeFi Mosaics minting tomorrow at 5 p.m. on Async and Index on Super Rare.
Yeah, it's a partnership with Async and Super Rare, which are two well-known, curated platforms. There's going to be audio. If Async's involved, I think there's going to be audio. And Lucrece, I say Lucrece, de Lucrece. I don't.
That's fine.
I don't actually know if that's right or not, but this is an established artist that's been killing it. Obviously, his Proceed with Caution Open Edition was one of the ones that really took off, that we called and talked a lot about. But I guess this is an expansion to that, like maybe a fine art or like even more curated version of this, because it looks like it's the same art. So I guess he's taking this very successful open edition, packaging it, doing something interesting with the async technology, and then it's going to be distributed through Super Rare Marketplace. which is a high-end marketplace with high-end collectors. So that's why if this thing is being listed or people are saying 5 ETH, like I don't know if that's the list price or the mint price or like that's a speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like this artist has been killing it. I'm very bullish on Lucrece.
The Space Smells Like is also saying if you had all 8 colors of Lucrece during airdrop, you get a free mint here.
Wow.
So
yo.
There's the gamification that we were talking about, and make me feel worse that I didn't get in. We are going to get to the NFTGO Bag Check in just a second. I did want to show off really quickly, folks. Did we see that LeBron had the title, the scoring title for the NBA, all-time scoring title? Lil Moon Lambo actually recorded it on his Solana phone, he said. And there's the quality for the Solana phone, folks.
Wow.
Dude,
just fantastic. Wow. Also, he's able to be in like so many different shots.
Wow. That's
Audio's
amazing.
great too. I don't know if you guys can't hear that, but the audio's fantastic.
Can't hear it at all. Probably don't want to hear that audio quality.
What do you guys think of this?
Yo, honestly,
48?
this is an appropriate representation of Solana and how they've been executing. So you know,
Whoa!
Perfect. That's perfect.
Okay,
I said it.
I'll let it slide.
You asked a question today, Q, about what we were minting this morning. And again, this is not financial advice at all. But guess what? I was minting some stuff on Solana this morning. Kids of the Apocalypse came out today. It's a good music.
I do like Kids of the Apocalypse. Shout out Drew Bleem, part of their team. Amazing people.
Fuck yeah, dude. Awesome. I'm bullish on that team. So yeah, I was on the Solana ecosystem today. For all you people that think I hate it.
Solana
you're just going to talk about that without dropping the link? I got it.
I got you.
We should. I would love to have Drew Bleem and Kids of the Apocalypse on the show as a Solana project that is doing something awesome with audio and art and yeah, I think that's. I did mint one of the early Kids of the Apocalypse NFTs also. One of the few NFTs. One of the few NFTs that I have minted on Solana, and Drew is just such an amazing part of this community. I love what they're doing. So shout out Kids of the Apocalypse. We don't hate Solana. We just give it a hard time sometimes. There's still some good people over there doing good shit.
Yeah,
this is actually pretty sick. The audio and like entrance into the platform is pretty dope.
Check it out. Turn it on. It's fucking dope.
Everybody's fading Solana. And
You're not you Solana maxi?
Do very well. Not a maxi. I think $1,000 next bull market.
What? Hold on.
Zoom in on his face while he says this. Zoom in on Mike's face.
Hold on.
That's like 4x previous high, right? Where you're gonna get real, authentic use cases on the trading side. Yeah, $1,000. That's
I like
as a guy who bought a little bit in the $8 handle, $1,000 sounds right.
Just a clear 100xer from here. Is that what we're going for?
Yeah.
I love swinging for the fences, dude. I love it.
100x from here, yeah, that'd be a little much. I mean, Solana's still above $20.
Oh, it's still okay. It's still above 20. Yeah, I was sitting in that $8 range. I remember that. Yeah, good job. So you bought an 8?
Yeah, but like $900 worth, Oh,
okay.
It was not even that. Yeah, it wasn't much. I was like, I'll buy it 8, I'll buy it 6, I'll buy it 3.
when it goes to 1,000, that's the play of the century. So it doesn't even matter at that point.
Facts. Okay, folks, this is NFT Live, of course. You're tuning in on the last episode of the week. We do this 1 p.m. Eastern Standard daily, except we take a little break on Fridays. We let Fun Uncle get in the mix. We got Speak Easy tonight. I'll share that link here in a second. And I'll also reshare the NFT Live link on Twitter. It definitely helps us get out the word to what we're doing here, which is just bringing you the dopest news in Web3. Other than that, folks, thank you for tuning in. If you're listening to us on podcasting platforms, if you're here on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, we appreciate you guys so much. So comments, I will get to you guys here in a second. Also, guys, if you see any that you'd like to shout out throughout the episode, you know what to do. Just bring them up, and we will get to commenting. All right. We do have a resident Doodles holder. Me and Mike Finch go way back. And maybe, Mike, can you give us a little brief update for the people that don't know what you're doing now with Parada? Give us a little brief update and also say...
We got 2 resident Doodles holders
okay,
now.
sorry,
Just saying.
Sorry, okay.
Just saying. Did you know, Mike? I got one? Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get the man bun trait?
Let's go!
I did, actually, yeah.
Ultra rare.
I wish.
Extra rare.
That would be amazing.
Mike, we own 2 Doodles together, and I believe you. I don't know if you have that under Parada or your personal, but yeah, let the folks out there know what you're doing now. I will say that the channel that you are on now, this YouTube channel, Mike Finch was like an original founder of this channel back in 2017-ish time frame. So it's been a while. It's been a journey.
Give the man
it's
a
good
follow.
to have you back.
Give him a follow.
The prodigal son returns.
It's Doodles is doing Doodles things and just surviving the massive FUD that has existed for many months with them. I've been really happy to see additional communication from the team end of last year into this year, and one of the biggest things that kind of piqued my interest and the reason that I wanted to go in on this Devil Doodle with UQ, which just at finchguy.eth, you can see my personal wallet there, and has links to what we have under Parada if you want to check out the doodle. It's number 2069. The reason was they talked about having an additional 4 to 5 other product drops or launches just in 2023. So let's assume like they're able to execute half of those and you get 2 or 3 of them past the duplicator stuff and what's already known. So I think they've got a lot under the hood. The reason we really like this doodle was because it is the basically the clone or the twin of one of the founders' doodles. So yeah, you can see right there. Snagged that, and just 2023 for me, I think is the year to kind of buy and hold, especially if you're going like on the rare front or the ultra rare front. I hit it a little bit early and started last year and harvested some tax losses, and I'm gonna swing again this year. So we'll see what happens, but there's always a lot kind of going on behind the scenes and on the stage with Doodle. So happy to keep chatting on that front. Which doodle do you have, Gus?
I'll pull it up here in a second. Ask
him what Chungo he has.
As a doobie, as a
doobie,
as a doodle newbie, or a doobie, as I like to say. I've been trying to get into this ecosystem. We've been watching it for a while. I do consider Doodles one of the blue checks. They obviously don't have necessarily the length and the history of like a traditional blue check, but blue chip. But as far as top NFT projects, they seem to have a lot of the ingredients to be a top tier. They've got the volume, they've got big collectors, they've got the amazing art that can transcend out of Web3. So we love it. We've talked about it a lot, but it is one of these things that has this complexity chasm a little bit that Q coined. Q coined that. Shout out Q. The complexity chasm, if you didn't get in early, it can be tough to kind of catch up. So I FOMO'd into these fucking duplicators at the top. I have 2 duplicators now that are fucking useless to me, because then I went and I bought my doodle on secondary. It was already duplicated. So my question to you, Mike, what do I do with my fucking duplicators? Do I basically have 2 very expensive, worthless NFTs that have 0 utility now? Is that what duplicators are?
No. So duplicators are interesting in 2 facets, right? I bought a rare one, not because I wanted to necessarily use the rare to duplicate. You take a doodle, you run it through a duplicator, and then it spits out all of the Doodles 2 wearables, right? Which Doodles 2 is the piece that exists on Flow. Those wearables are the ones that they're going to try to push to the mainstream and really create this like interesting PFP avatar for your Instagrams and your Facebooks and whatnot of the world. Again, all kind of like mainstream on that front. So I bought the rare duplicator because there's 1,000 of them, right? And effectively, as more and more get eaten up, I think those will actually go up in value, right? The second piece of that is that there's a perpetual utility there, meaning that the team has said time and time again that they will continue to release utility for it, right? In a similar way that I
Okay, so it's not dead. It's not
refills.
a
It refills.
Oh,
I sent you this message.
No.
That's all it is.
Hold on. I know that we've talked about this, Q. You're right. You've pointed to like some a very unclear, vague sentence about like there'll be a refill of something, but like it's not clear what that means at all. This is one of the issues in this complexity chasm is that like they do publish information. They have websites, but like there's a bunch of different things happening, and it's honestly it's not very clear and it's not very friendly to people trying to get in. Which is why it's great to have you here, and I'm asking these questions because again, like I feel like I really played this wrong, even though I thought I was making all the right moves. I got the duplicators. I bought a doodle. I was like, I'm so excited. I get to do, and none of it worked right. And then Q's like, oh, I sent you this sentence. Dude, the sentence doesn't really tell me shit about what's actually happening. So yes and no, right?
Duplicator will recharge for new uses in the future.
But
he didn't read the instructions. You FOMO'd in.
but that doesn't mean that I can use my doodle, or it doesn't address what happens to my doodle. Does my doodle recharge once it's duplicated? Do I need another doodle? Do I have to go buy it on the secondary? Is that the only way that I can use my duplicators? When does this happen? What does a recharge even mean? Can you define what a recharge means for me? Because that could mean a lot of different things if they're doing different things. So I'm sorry.
I feel like you have a little bias here, though, because Yuga has gotten away with this. You know, Yuga doesn't really explain it. It's like, here's a toad. Figure it out.
Yeah, and that's fair. But there's either way, there's a complexity chasm for people getting in. That's what we're talking about. And I'm talking about Doodles specifically
100%.
right now because this is the one that I don't know about and I'm trying to learn about. And I also happen to buy duplicators at the top at 1 ETH. So I got 2 ETH worth of fucking duplicators that I can't use right now. That's why I'm asking. So anyway, can you pull up my screen, Q? I do want to show this. I'll show my Doodle real quick. I'll get Mike's professional opinion. It's not nearly as cool, but also this. I did mint one. Gas is still a little high.
Man.
But I got one. We're in. We're doing it.
Nice.
All right, I got my strangers. Let's go see my dude and all my chungos.
What are
Jesus?
chungos?
Oh God!
Jesus!
Oh God!
Dude, flexing.
Did
Now
you
you're
buy
flexing.
more?
How many did I get? Oh God! Here you go. This
Great
is
deal.
I got him. I got him on the floor. It was a WETH offer, and somebody in my opinion kind of paper handed at 5.5 ETH. I'm sure they made out well, so maybe it's not
No
a paper
man
hand.
bun.
But no man bun. You could maybe say it's a little man bun right there on top. You know, it's cute. But I at least
That's a
I'm
good
in.
one.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be in.
So what's
you
the
got-
good one, Mike? I'd love to know that. Like, I'm still hunting for something that I like, but what
Look at
makes
these.
this in particular
I
a
think
favorite?
Doodles is interesting. Like I like to follow Doodles, and on the duplicator piece real quick, right? Like I'm in this, I've been in the Doodles community for a long time, and I still am not fully clear on how all of this works in the current iteration, right? So like when Pharrell's album drops, you know, specifically for Doodles holders, and there's some duplicator aspect to that, they'll release that then. But all of these plans around entertainment and IRL activations and parties and all these things, the duplicator will have we'll have many, many more pieces of utility. So hang on that front. This doodle, you know, you've got a gradient there, which is nice. Certain gradients tend to sell a little bit higher, like the fire background you can see there with the mustache guy, or the one at the top in the center, you know, with kind of more of that hollow background. But similar to many PFPs, anything at the floor, basically the more aesthetic you can get, where essentially the more people can relate to it, the higher value theoretically it should have. Now, it's a bit trickier right now just because, markets are very kind of PvP, as I would call them, or like player versus player. So it really just comes down to like, if you're trying to buy a specific one or sell a specific one, you might think it's a great aesthetic, but another trader might understand that, hey, pretty much anything on the floor is the floor, and the floor is 5.8. They're going to offer 5.5 or whatever it is. 5.5 is a super solid entry on that front. So as far as blue chips go, like I said earlier, I think 2023 is the year of just kind of stacking this stuff. Understanding that, like, from a broader timeline, we've got the Bitcoin halving coming up in a little longer than a year. Like, there's some hope on the horizon for many new entrants. So don't try to. And again, this is just what I'm doing, right? I'm not trying to. I'm trying not to overtrade. I'm trying not to paper hand things. At this point, I'm really just kind of trying to pick and choose what I think. I'll be good selling at a much higher price a year or two from now. So
Mike,
you'll be all right. Hang in there.
I want to move a little bit away from the Doodles and get to the remaining topics, but just wrapping up this combo, I think the way you kind of are collecting right now is interesting, because a lot of us are, I think, trying to find new mints. Like, that's always going to be dope. But like, when you're collecting, you're looking at rare items. Like, I feel like that's not exactly, and like with these Doodles, for example, we could have just hit the floors, but we're trying to buy the higher quality, quality, quote unquote, like rare ones. But
it is a different strategy from the majority of people, because we've actually looked at data and even done anecdotal sort of polling about, like, what do you care about? How do you go about, what tools do you use to when you're searching and buying? And what most people said is, like, I don't even really use any tools outside of the OpenSea ones. I just go to the floor and find one close to the floor that I like. I don't really give a shit about rarity. And that's just the truth. Most people are just hunting around the floor to find something they like. So yeah, you have a very different strategy from most people.
Yeah, it's so, like, when it comes to trading in general, I'm best at what you would call swing trading, right? Which is most simply put as, like, buying the things when people don't want them and selling them, to them when they do want them, right? So buying your Bitcoin under 20K, understanding that, like, it's not going to go away, and we may see 6-figure Bitcoin one day, right? Same with ETH under 1K, right? Like, swing trading, you can swing trade in the intraday, but, like, largely that's where I do better, is kind of like the longer time frame swing trading. So when you think about NFTs right now, like I was saying, a floor is a floor is a floor to pretty much everybody, whether you're a trader or a collector or anybody else. Like, even for me, if I'm just looking for a floor doodle, like, I'm not going to pay an extra ETH above floor just because I like it, right? Like, I'll offer floor, try to go OTC or something like this. But now is not the market where rares are valued at like 5, 7, 8, 10x floor. Which is what you'll see in a bull market.
There's a lot less liquidity. There's a lot less liquidity in the rares, which is why you have to be in on them for a longer time horizon, because they're just not going to move as fast at the higher prices.
100%. Like, a rare doodles right now are probably like, unless you're going into the custom drawn stuff, like the or even some of the, like, whales and sharks, where there's only like 9 or 10 of them. Those are going to be quite a bit higher. But your like mid trait rares, like the devil, those are going to sit anywhere between probably like 2.25 to 3x floor. So you're exactly right. You have to be willing to really hang on to those. Otherwise, you're going to kind of fumble the bag a little bit there, I think.
All right, comments coming through in chat that I do want to get to. We only have Mike, I believe, for like another 10 to 15 minutes. Mike, let me know when you do have to pop out of here. That way we can get to some topics that you can cover while you're still here. We do have to get to a bag check too. We're an hour into the episode, haven't got to the bag check. But Don R is asking, curious, Finch, do you think 23 is bull, bear, or even? How long until we're heading back to the moon? Full financial advice. Not financial advice.
I think right now crypto is largely moving in lockstep with traditional markets until we see a new crypto specific narrative or a new niche on ETH that all the other chains are going to copy, right? Thinking like a DeFi summer or big NFT wave, right? Like, whatever the next big thing is on ETH, be it gaming or something else. Until we see that narrative or that new niche pop up, there's too much chaos in the traditional markets and too much talk and kind of worry around inflation. So I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, Wall Street right now is pitching that inflation has peaked and that it's not going to be sticky, meaning that the Fed will be able to get rates above the inflation rate. So that's really kind of what it all comes down to. In about 5 days, we've got a super key one on Valentine's Day, another CPI print. I know everybody's sick of hearing whether or not number good or bad, but that's just kind of the market we're in. So hopefully we continue to get these lower CPI numbers, and the Fed can kind of ease off a little bit, and continue to get kind of all of this crazy bear market recession hysteria behind us into the spring and summer, before I think maybe we consolidate into your like Q4 and kind of see where other data like GDP and things like this come in. So it's very much up in the air. I think most likely we do kind of chop around. Maybe we see Bitcoin in the 30s again. I don't think it gets above 40 regardless, but most likely I think we kind of chop about, which maybe that's interesting for NFTs in its own kind of like siloed market.
Okay, I do have to get to the bag check before we hit the hour mark, and I'd be remiss. We said we would not talk about the Chungos, and Gifted, I need your wallet back up. We need to see how many Chungos you have, because Chungos are 0.21 ETH, and we have a bet here on the channel that next Wednesday, Chungos are going to be above 1 ETH. I took the over. These two guys took the under. And there's nothing to be had with this bet other than respect and reputation. But we are moving up. It was like 0.16 yesterday. We're at 0.21 now. So
I have
let's
a
talk
problem.
To the Chungo whale.
So again, this is the opposite of financial advice at this point. I have a problem, and I've literally been out there transparent on Twitter. I think somebody needs to stop me. This is like a Biggie Poppin' situation. I need some Chungo cuffs, some handcuffs to stop me, because I did flip 2. I got my first 2 flips yesterday, and then right away I bought 3 more, and then I bought 3 more, and I think I just bought 2 more with like WETH offers when it dipped this morning. So now, even though I've sold 2 and I have a wallet with at least one other, I've got this many.
Wow.
So these 3 right here, not these two are the ones that just got picked up cheap WETH offers when it dipped, that are already up 0.05 if that 4 is right. These 3 over here on the right, these are the ones that I picked up yesterday that I actually really like. Dude, this one, the clown nose, is ranked 747. This one's ranked 560. So I got a couple more rares, including the Noggles. Shout out the Nouns DAO and the Nouns. We got some Noggles in the castle.
Somebody that had no idea what NFTs was joining this show in the last 30 seconds would be like, what the fuck did this guy just say?
This is what I'm retiring.
Shout out to the Nouns DAO for the pickle NFT that has a clown nose. Woohoo!
Yo, Mike Finch, this is my retirement fund right here. What do you think? I got
yeah, dude.
Chungo, bro.
I dig it, man. I dig it. I like the Solana goggles there. The snowboarding ones. If you scroll down.
Yeah.
The purple guy.
Nice.
That one's sick. Yeah.
I mean, I got that one listed for a cheap 0.59 ETH right now. If anybody wants to take that off,
okay.
That's going to be the steal of the century. 2 months from now, that's going to be the steal of the century right there. If anybody wants to pick that one up.
The sad part is you've got some of the community members involved with you on this. You've been shilling it so much on the channel that Mike Aronson is saying I took under on the 0.2.
I'm not shilling it. All right, look, let's talk about something I have more conviction on, okay, than Chungos. Chungos are a bad idea. Chungos have always been a bad idea. I'm not affiliated with Chungos. I literally just saw the community acting like idiots, and I said, fuck it, let's go, you ridiculous people. All right,
look, fade the Chungo.
A couple of months from now, we're gonna see like Gifted owns 57 Chungos handle on Twitter.
Don't fade the Chungo. Don't fade the Chungo. That is the saying. All right, look, this is something I have more conviction in. This is Art Blocks. This is MP Cause. MP Cause is an artist that we started talking about because they were in the Grails, the Proof Collective Grails. MP Cause was in that. It's an artist that has some successful collections already, like this one, Chimera. And MP Cause is going to be the first artist featured in the Art Blocks Bright Moments collaboration that's been announced. So I saw all of that and I said, you know what? I've been saying generative art's going to be huge. We know Art Blocks is instrumental and so big. I need to get more art blocks, and I like this artist NFTGO. So I went and I scouted around. I slept on the side of some mountains, put in some ETH offers, and lo and behold, somebody, and again, in my opinion, paper handed this around 1 ETH. I got in for 1 ETH. This is a chimera. Check it out. It's fucking interactive, beautiful, generative art. This is all code. This is code, and you can fucking like. Sorry, let me see if I can.
That's looking nice.
It's not letting me. What did I do? Oh, there we go.
This is a rare, I guess, based on current floor price.
Like, look how fucking beautiful this shit is. This is all code, dude. These things are fucking interactive, generative pieces of art. This shit's fucking, and it changes. Like, you can just move it around and change it. It's fucking beautiful, dude. And it's perpetual motion. It just keeps going. So anyway, I'm very bullish on this artist. And so I bought it at 1 ETH. And I think the floor, as soon as I bought it, went up to 2 ETH. Yeah, floor just went up to 0.2169. So I'm going to hold this at least until the art block sprite moments drop and see what happens then. But there's only 986 of these chimeras by this artist NFTGO on art blocks. And that's one that I'm actually proud of. And I'm not proud of Chungos. I'm proud of this chimera.
It'll still look great with your Chungos surrounding it. Like a frame. A frame of Chungos around the chimera.
Chungos. Yes.
A chungo?
Back to the things that truly matter. Chungo drip is on its way, GIF. So I would honestly, I'm loading up more. I do want to ask Mike, Biggie. I think I cut you off a little bit, but I want to ask Mike to take a side on this 1 ETH bet.
I was going to say under, and then I saw that their description, all it said was "Don't fade the Chungo," which is incredibly mimetic, and you never short the memes in crypto. Sure.
And black hoodies on the way. So yeah,
yes.
Better be.
I have a question for you guys around the gen art, kind of with like the swing trading discussion that we were talking about. With say like the Doodles or other PFPs, kind of waiting for the next real big run here. Like, how do you guys see gen art fitting into that? Just real briefly, is it something that you think you could hold one of these chimeras for 2 years and it'd be worth 10, 50, 100x floor, right? Or is this more of like a flippers market right now?
No, this is more, this to me is closer to a traditional fine art market, because what's happening right now is a actual digital renaissance, and there's art movements that are part of this. The like PFP movement is also part of that. So you're betting on Doodles. This is an art movement, part of this bigger digital art renaissance that we're living through right now because of the new technology. This is all being created by the technology, right? Just like the Renaissance was created by a certain the situation of what was going on in society, coming out of the plague, all the darkness, so much creative energy pent up, and then also new technologies being invented, like all of that, and what was happening in humanity, global trade starting to happen, all of these new cultural influences created the Renaissance. We are now going through a similar creative period coming out of COVID and all this stuff with this new technology and digital artists finally being able to capture more of their value. What's the point? The point is, this is actually a renaissance that we're living through right now. And there's a bunch of different movements and things that are going to be incredibly valuable, I think. Obviously, we're all speculating about this, but I think in the next 10, 20, 30 years, technology doesn't go away. We actually appreciate our value for technology and its history. You look at how people collect things like old fucking Sega Genesises and game cartridges and Game Boys. We appreciate the history and the provenance of technology and collectibles and art. And now you've got this whole wave of new creators, new artists experimenting in this space and doing the work of their lives. And generative art actually has its formation in the 1960s. So generative art has been around for a while, but now you've got the technology, the understanding, the infrastructure to support it at like a scale, and institutional support. Like galleries are now starting to respect and pick up on what generative art is, because it is poetry, it is coding. Like these are people who are literally creating organic, interactive, living pieces of art with fucking code. And people are starting to really appreciate what code does and the technology underlying this. So like, I think that a lot of these artists like the MP Causes, or like the Snowfro. People like fucking Snowfro. Yeah. These are the Picassos of this fucking movement.
Damn, my man.
Did you take
I'm
that
sold.
in, Mike? Did you get
what
that?
What about Tyler Hobbs? Is he in that? Is
Tyler
he in the
Hobbs?
conversation?
Absolutely.
Okay,
dude,
good.
is he in the conversation? Go look at what he's fucking done.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm a QQL guy because I'm poverty Tyler Hobbs, so I'm a QQL guy. That's why I was asking.
Snaps.
Have you been playing around with the outputs, Mike? Like generating outputs to see if you could, like, have you gotten any good ones that you try to resell on the market?
Man, I got a good one. If you go to my wallet again, it's in my little art vault section. I think it looks like a Grim Reaper. So I minted that shit, and everybody I asked can't see it. I'm the only one that's been able to see it, so it'll probably be stuck with me forever. But as Gift said, I've got it listed there for 125 ETH. So if anybody wants to go and check it out,
YOLO,
more than welcome. Yeah, right there next to the raccoons. Keep going down under the camera. Right, yeah, right there. 153 in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, let me
click on that.
Oh, it's monochrome, huh?
Yeah. Do you see the Grim Reaper? See his?
Oh, damn! Yeah, there's like a skull there, huh? Middle
right?
to the left
Thank
a little
you,
bit.
Biggie.
Yeah, I can see it, dude. It's almost like an X copy skull too. It's got like those teeth and stuff.
I gotta take some LSD or something.
Yeah, man.
I need to be able to see this.
Just take an edible. You'll see it, Q.
Yeah, man. I'm just glad you're my first, Biggie. Thank you.
Whoa.
What, everybody was trying to pretend like it's not there. They're just trying to like get like put in lower WETH offers. Like, I don't see anything.
All kinds of cherries getting popped.
Tonight when you're falling asleep, hop in and look at it again. You can kind of see like the scythe, and you can kind of see his black robe there a little bit too. So, man, I appreciate
story
you.
off of a photo, an image.
Dude,
giving me hope.
Shit starts, man. Honestly,
he's telling us bedtime stories over here. This is Pillow Talk. Welcome to NFT Pillow Talk with Mike Finch.
I don't even want to know what the fucking raccoon is here, but
honestly, if you can get people to recognize, if you can get people to recognize these small little things, sometimes they can really like enhance the value of your piece, right? Like Ringers has that one that they call, I think, the swan, and it looks like a duck. People start acknowledging it, and all of a sudden that in itself becomes like a unique piece or a rarity, right? Like same with like certain pieces that sometimes have like a bit of a glitch, but they're like the only one. So yeah,
100%.
I'll help you push that skull meme into the social manosphere, dude. When you start pushing it,
you can see a bunch of them if you go to the QQL page. There's a bunch. There's like somebody's been trying to sell like a skyscraper one. I don't know if that's still there. Then there's 95 for like 20 ETH. Looks like a city skyline. There's another one right next to it that looks like the come on, do something meme with Bitcoin. There's a bunch, man. There's a whale
the city skyline one
for 250.
Is this the city skyline? Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah,
that's
I see
the
that.
Skyline one.
That's cool.
Yeah,
you sold me on this one. I see the skyline.
Yeah, the stars. That one's easy. This guy, whoever that is gonna fumble the bag because I like that one a lot.
Hey, a lot of good comments coming through. Mike is loving Biggie. You should start this project. Physical gen art NFT frames would be hella dope. So they're loving that idea there. Although don't do it with Chungos if possible. Snapsit is saying Twitter suspended my account. Marty McFly saying Agony and Ecstasy, the Michelangelo biography. Read it, best book ever. Space Smells Like saying someone swept the QQL floor today. Quantum Variant saying Biggie has the eye for art. So getting a lot of love per usual. I
Thank
like
you guys.
Arafim saying not half bad vintage either.
What? I don't have an eye for art out here. Did you see my bag of Chungos? Excuse you.
Exquisite Chungo taste.
Tell your story.
Exquisite taste in the Chungo sphere.
Not getting any respect for my Chungos out here.
What do we got here, Finch?
No,
this is one of my favorite QQLs, dude. The whale.
Tell me your story.
I wish this was mine. That's my story.
Looks like a whale. I see it.
I see the
For,
whale.
for a mere
it's-
250 ETH, you can buy from this man or woman.
Dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it. It looks like it's got schools of fish kind of circling around it. That's
All right,
pretty neat.
I'm flying into the NFTGO Bag Check, and then I want to get Mike's take on Dookey Dash before he has to roll out. Mike, feel free to stay here as long as possible. We're here for the next 4 hours, so you know how we do here on NFT Live, Jacob. All right, NFTGO Bag Check. We got trending collections. Actually, let's make it to market overview first. I like my market overview. Sentiment is 35, up 1 from yesterday. Still a lot of folks in 30-day losses. A little bit more sellers than buyers. Again, this is all on the Ethereum network, folks, so take that for what you will. Believe we are kind of crabbing out on the last 7 days for the blue chips against USD. I believe we had, again, GIF, we had those 2 large sales, right? CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. Or was it Squiggles, potentially? I'm trying to remember.
It was, exactly. There was, first it was the CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. Both
2
sold
800
for
ETH purchases.
ETH. Yeah, and then I think KRO is a famous collector or creator. I don't know that much about him, but I think they started buying up a bunch of Squiggles.
Kevin
but
Rose.
also
Kevin Rose.
that is Kevin Rose. Okay, sorry.
I don't know Crow.
See? Well, I just saw everybody's. See, I'm not. That is me eating crow. Look, I'm not in the proof ecosystem. I know who Kevin Rose is, but I don't follow him on Twitter and shit. So I'm learning. So KRO again.
Yeah, they call him.
Don't shame me. Don't shame me. Hold up. Don't shame me for being on this side of the complexity chasm, because you know what? We're all educating here. So how dare you shame me? You pretentious proof collective over there on the other side of the chasm. I'm looking over at you trying to figure out how to get there, and you're throwing rocks at me.
But just so you know, GIF, it wasn't Cairo. I sent you the link right now, Q. People were suspecting that it was Cairo buying up all these squiggles, but it was actually this guy, Lone Wolf, that bought a full set of squiggles, which is pretty fucking crazy. I don't know how much he spent, but it's pretty nuts. Check it out, Q. I just sent you the link. It's
okay.
It's got a full set. It's nuts.
So let's look at this. I have to keep us on track because we are all over the place today.
There is no track here.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. We're off-roading. All right, what's going on here?
So this is Jedi Wolf, and like GIF was saying, everybody thought it was Crow buying the squiggles, but it was actually Jedi Wolf front running probably Cairo, because he's gonna come for everyone's squiggles. But man, I mean, I don't know. Wow. I would love to get from an eyeball, what do you say, Marty? How much did he spend on that full set? I definitely think it's at least $500,000 easy. I mean, he's got a hyper rainbow there, a pipe, a bolt, fucking, it's insane.
Speaking of squigs, we do have another WAGMI United holder in our midst here today. Finch is a WAGMI holder, so we can all 4 commiserate on how Crawley Town's doing. Or are we getting our jerseys anytime soon? What's going on with that?
That's what I wanted to know. Dude, I think it's. I don't even know if I'm tracking it anymore.
No, I'm definitely not. At least we're not getting relegated as of yet. So that's
not
good.
yet. Not yet.
We're
all right.
21st out of 24.
They're hot on our asses. All right, holders and traders staying pretty steady. Let's see. Let's do volume here over the last 24 hours. Let's see what we got. Pudgies. Someone was making the claim that Pudgies was a blue chip yesterday on the show. Other deeds, checks, VV there, Doodles, Clone X. So this isn't completely taken up by Bored Ape today, which is nice to see. And then over the last 7 days, we got Bored Apes, checks, other deeds, sewer passes, mutants, Doodles, Pudgies again, Azuki, Clone X, and CryptoPunk. CryptoPunk's there. Marketplace, it's going to be Blur and OpenSea. I don't even know if I should show Blur.
What is up
other
with,
than Blur taking over?
Just on the WAGMI United front, how those jerseys coming along? Where are they at? I've been waiting to see them pop up on the stream, and
we're getting a jersey, a scarf, and what else? Like a fucking coolie or something?
What's a coolie?
Koozie?
Yeah, like to keep your beer cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
koozie.
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 Koozie, sorry, not coolie.
They don't have koozies in. Yeah, got it.
So it's all right, man. You mean Cairo?
Got him. Okay. All right, we are off-roading, on-roading, whatever the hell we're doing here. I'm taking us into Dookey Dash a little bit. I want to get Mike's take here. Here are the final Dookey Dash stats. Harry Lou's been doing a great job from Animoca Brands, or I think he is in the Animoca Brands family at least. Final day Dookey Dash stats: total plays 7.6, unique players 25K. The top score never hit that million mark. There was like a pro gamer. Mongrel, I believe, who hit 928, and he never got that million mark. Sewer passes at the time of this, which I believe is 18 hours ago, 2.4 ETH for a tier 1. Tier 4 was 4.4, so down from that like 6. I think they tapped out at like 6.7. The amount spent in total in Ape, 2.5 million.
So I initially said that I was guessing when it was around 2 mil that we initially covered this, that it would be between 2.5 to 3. I thought it would be a little bit closer to 3 mil, but like 2.5, that's pretty good. This is basically a side mission. That's what this is. That's what's amazing. And I think the fact that people have been comparing it to things like Fortnite and AAA famous, like big time game, like full game experiences, when this is literally just a little side mission for them to test the shit. To me, this is tremendously successful. But yeah, Mike, what do you think?
We appreciate you being in the Yuga ecosystem here, Mike. So let's do it.
I'm just glad so much ape was spent so that I could long ape at the top. That was great. But no, I mean, I think it was a huge success for them. Like I to be honest, I haven't paid attention that much, but I didn't hear a ton of complaints. Like there wasn't any sort of like widespread FUD. It just sounds like Yuga doing Yuga yet again. And shortly before it ended, they had that little teaser that I'm sure you guys have talked about before already. So it's like, if I'm Yuga, I'm as happy as can be. I mean, it was I think people like somewhat enjoyed the game. Really well done. Like you've got pro gamers playing it, which is a whole nother facet.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Dude, I was like, how fast are you freaking going when you're above 900,000? Where's he at with this?
Adderall sales are at all-time highs for this.
833,000. Holy shit.
This is the first place run, essentially. So the last it should end on 900 and something.
If I actually played this, I think I would hate
insane.
it.
That last bit right there is crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
this is insane.
One comment I will have is that amongst the people that were getting pretty high scores, there was an overall sentiment that it was RNG. Like there is an element of skill. Don't get me wrong. The most skilled players will do the best, but there was an element of like some runs you're just gonna get fucked. Like it's a random obstacle creation. So sometimes you're just gonna get fucked. But he was able to get to 920. That's absolutely amazing. So overall success from both of you guys. We do have obviously the roadmap, the lick the toad. Some people were saying that Cryptoads is going to be involved. They were in that first commercial for the other side.
The second trip. It's the second trip. Come on, y'all know it. You lick a toad. You lick a Cryptoad. You go on a trip into the other side, see what's cooking, get another demo. That's what I think it is.
Biggie, from the outside, how did you see the sewer pass and the Dookey?
Man, I agree with y'all. I mean, what are you gonna call it, a failure? Like, dude, like pro gamers came in. You see it in social media. People trying to beat. I mean, it's a success by any measure of the imagination, right? Like, I guess like the only thing like maybe some people might be pissed about is that some pro game, like what is it, Mongrel went in there and like got the top spot. Like, what? I mean, what are you gonna say? Like, you're not allowed to play?
This is the idea. Okay, I got another interesting sort of anecdotal take on the success of this, and it's related to like bringing in, getting more people involved in like this bigger community play, transcending outside of our immediate circle. But one of the things that I thought was really, really cool was the community aspect of everybody figuring out their own strategy and playing this game and helping each other in different ways. And what I mean is, like, specifically, like, I leaned on NFTQ and I said, NFTQ, you're better than me. Here's my tier 3 pass. I will trust you. Put this expensive asset in your wallet, in your care. I trust you as a friend that you're going to do what you do and invest, hours of your time to try and get me a higher score than I can get. Cake Nygaard, who's an OG artist that I love, had several sewer passes last minute. He's like, bro, I suck at this fucking game. What do? I said, Cake, send them to me. I will help you. He sent me 3 fucking sewer passes. And in the last couple hours, I was able to get all of them over 100K. I gave Cake Nygaard my best score. He got scores better than I could. I got him up to almost 190K on 1Q. So just so you know, this guy over here who's not a fucking, normal mouse PC player, not part of the master race, even though I play Rocket League on a fucking gaming PC. All right, calm down. No, like I got my buddy all 3 of his passes way higher than he could have, and it's like that's awesome. Like, I'm not charging him money to go do this. I get to say I helped my friend achieve a certain level in something that may or may not turn into a lot of money. We don't know, but it's like that community aspect of everybody like gaming together to try and like get as far as they can in this competition that is literally like a Ready Player One race to try and get these assets and these keys. And who knows what it's worth, but at the same time, you're creating these experiences and these bonds through this fucking game of like, yeah, I want to help out my homie. Oh shit, you got your passes, you haven't scored them? Let me see what I can do for you, dude. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think people understand, again, how powerful having a good game experience like this is, and the fun. Like we've been saying, there's a lot of money creating fun experiences, but especially when you've got the community, you've got it incentivized properly, you've got great mechanics. The ApeCoin mechanic was brilliant. Dude, I think this was such a fucking massively successful thing. And then you can look at actual hard metrics like the average revenue per user, the ARPU. Anyway, I think that community aspect has yet to be understood of how cool this has been.
To your point, I think that could honestly, and I was having this conversation with Prodigy, who was doing the runs with me. Like, we did it live on stream, which was another aspect. We got to interact with people in the community while we were playing. But we've been talking about like the gaming of this, like this score, essentially, right? Like, people paid pro gamers to get them higher scores. I think one thing that might be cool that will add on to that like community vibe GIF is multiplayer, right? Like, I think so. I'll answer this in 2 separate. I know I'm doing it completely, side brained and all this stuff, but if you got 2 people to play the game at the same time, that actually handles a lot of the gaming you see with pro gamers. Because if you had to play it with another person, then you actually have the idea that, okay, one, it can't be botted as hard. Right, like we're seeing a lot of FUD. Like, I would say is the biggest piece of the FUD that you're receiving from Yuga right now, or at Yuga, is the amount of FUD around botting and trying to like fake the gameplay and all this stuff. If you played it with a multiplayer, it'd be harder to do that. And I think you'd add to the community factor. I'm interested that much. I just like playing multiplayer PvP games. It's like, imagine if it was me and you, GIF, riding the Dookey Dash thing where you were like throwing it at another person. And like, it's more of a survival than it is like a one-person PvE scenario. So I know that was kind of a long rant, but I think maybe adding multiplayer actually solves some of this botting issue.
Potentially, but I think also, to me, what's interesting is this is the first time that I've started to understand the power of NFT gaming and Web3 gaming, and seeing it start to cross over in a bigger way, in my opinion, into like AAA experiences and everything that we've been talking about. Like, NFT gaming is going to be huge, blah, blah, blah. Like, whether or not you're in the ecosystem or you want to admit it, what you guys just achieved here, to me, marks the first ever AAA crypto native gaming experience. This shit was actually next level, and it really did things that other people have never done. And I think showed the way forward for what's possible and where they're going, which I'm starting to see the vision more and more for why they brought in the Activision Blizzard, CFO, where they're going with all this is next level community experiences that are built into these gaming experiences. And dude, this shit's crazy, man. I'm really impressed with it. There is a dump happening on Bitcoin, and also ApeCoin is dumping post the the game being done, which again I think is short sighted, but it's down to like $5.30 or something now.
So Quantum is saying, what is the rumor around Lick the Toad? Mike Edmondson is saying, is this a catalyst to buy cryptodes? Do we think scores will matter? Scores will definitely matter. I think they have explicitly said that scores in Dookie Dash will matter as it comes to what's revealed at the end of the day. There's this. I had another tweet that I wanted to bring you guys. Let me make sure I've got it. Check out this stat. Roughly 11.6% of sewer passes were not claimed.
Yeah, it's wild.
Imagine 10% of the supply, Biggie.
I'm not surprised because I've seen it happen with proof when it comes to Grail passes as well. You need to understand that some of these high net worth individuals that come into these projects sometimes they buy in, but they don't care about the Discord. They're not really looking to keep track bit by bit and collect every little thing. I mean, to their detriment, but they just want to partake in that particular ecosystem, and it's mind blowing, right? With proof, I forget how many Grail passes weren't used this last time, but yeah, I'm not surprised. It seems to be a theme amongst all these top projects, and when you really do think about it, if you're somebody that's got an IRL crazy busy life and job, right? Sometimes you're just gonna miss shit, right? You're not gonna keep tabs on everything.
I missed the cyber brokers drops and shit. Look, there's so much going on, and a lot of people are just not as tapped in as we are, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do our best to keep up with everything, and we just miss things. We fucking slept on a kid called Beast, even though it was literally kicking us in the fucking face the whole time. And you know what I mean? So you can't do everything, and some people are just not as up to date or care as much as Biggie's saying. To be honest, I was surprised it wasn't higher. I actually thought it'd be 15 to 20% or something, just because I think there's a lot of those higher end collectors that are not degenning every day with their lives. But it's still a lot. It's still a lot left on the table. I think Quantum's saying roughly 15 mil left on the table.
We see you guys' comments that we'll get to. The last thing I want to talk about related to the Dookie Dash and the ongoing Yuga and other side news is this evolution looks a little bit like what they're expecting us or information they've shown us, right? Evo 1 through 4, you kind of see in this photo. So if I go back to that original photo, so this photo looks like what we'll receive here in the sewer pass mint. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then the Kennel Club mech suit as well. So I'll link this tweet. Actually, it comes from JKB, I believe, put together a nice awesome summary there. But it looks like, again, they gave us Evo 1, 2, 3, and 4, and within that photo, it looks like there's 4 potential evolutions. So you have the Bored Ape, Mutant Ape, whatever you want to call it, that gives you access to the sewer. Well, this little thing right here, I don't know if that's a Coda that's in a mech suit or something like that. And here's Evo 2, 3, and potentially 4 if you have the Kennel Dog.
Here's my speculation on this too, which I'm sure some people are already thinking about, but I've been thinking more about this, and we haven't talked about it yet. I think they are going to have a similar mechanic. It'll be different somehow, but it might even be a similar style of game that's just kind of repurposed and reskinned a little bit. I think for each of these Evos, or at least 1 or 2 more of these evolutionary steps, they're going to be gamifying them as well. And so if you think they're going to do something like that, then understand each of these steps is going to have an ape coin burn mechanic or spend mechanic attached to it. I think they're going to basically be replaying the exact same thing we just did with Dookie Dash multiple times throughout this process.
There's also an interesting aspect with the other deeds, because there are something like 100 mech pieces that exist on other deed land. And the floor is up to almost 14 ETH now on those, probably since they released that. I mean, I feel like midway through last year, they were at 2, 3 ETH. So it's interesting. People kind of try to front run announcements and things like that when it comes to this stuff. But to me, it feels like they are now the first to really get real significant buy-in in the bear market from their holders, like with what they have going on. I mean, not to say that Biden wasn't always there, but as far as like kind of a confirmed, hey, we're going to really do the damn thing, like, you know, it seems like they're there. Like people believe, even though, you know, markets are down a bit.
All right, I'm going to pop out. I did show the other side Meta. Actually had a tweet as well. This is the top 500 on Dookey Dash, by the way. Only, I think, 489 of the top 500 scores came from the tier 4 super passes, which was interesting.
Fucked up.
Quantum Variant saying, do we think each of these will be new NFTs or like a skin? If somebody held a gun to my head today, I'd probably say that there's some type of wearable or some type of like extra on top of what you're getting, and you start to like get things that like your original NFT could wear. I don't think these will be brand new PFP NFT, you know, assets that you get. I don't think that they're introducing additional supply here. I think what you're going to get is something that your NFTs can wear. But again, I could be completely wrong. Everyone's kind of speculating at this point what is happening. I want to make sure I get that. So, okay, we'll move out of the Yuga Lab show here. I know we're hopping around a bunch. Mike, you did have a question to potentially Biggie, who is the only proofer here. Did you have a question you wanted to pose related to proof passes?
I want to know what's the current FUD. Like, I have a decent idea of what has happened, you know, with Crow being hacked, and I don't know if he was like selling something or something like, you know, something like that to buy more squigs or whatever. But like, what's the FUD? And has anything fundamentally changed from what Proof is offering and promising, or is this just like, you know, everybody's terrified, like all of your like Proof Pass plus Moonbird holders, where that's the majority of their NFT net worth, and they're just kind of like freaking out, worried it's going to go to zero type deal. But you know, if you look at the past sales, like we're in the 16s, 17s. I mean, seems like an opportunity to me. So convince me otherwise.
So this one's going to be a bit difficult just because the cloud of FUD is tremendous and from all sides. But TLDR, Mike, I think those last things that you said, I very much agree with. One is that it's a lot of people that have substantial holdings in the ecosystem that are very much afraid for their bags. And the second one is, you know, I do think it's an opportunity, and for people that have been in the proof system for some time also, just like, I think it's a flush that needed to happen because some people came into that ecosystem later on, whether it's through Moonbirds or buying a proof pass at the top of this, you know, at the tippity top, and with very unguided and unfounded expectations, right? And unfortunately, again, like many of these top projects, they are immediately compared with Yuga, right? And and people that sometimes FUD into them have these expectations, right? Where you're just going to get dropped, you know, valuable assets continuously, which, I mean, to me, it's been very, very good, right? Obviously, my cost basis from being a day one minter is very different than somebody that came in at the tippity top. But I mean, trajectory wise, as far as the FUD cloud that we're, you know, passing through at the moment, I do say passing through because all these things pass. Having said that, like it started with the conference where some Moonbirds got very rubbed the wrong way, where, you know, it's a conference for 4,000 people and proofers were going to get, you know, one free pass and then the ability to buy a second one before anybody else. So you're talking about half of the supply for proof pass for conference passes disappearing. And everybody got their panties in a bunch and just started fudding away. And then the price came out, which was premium compared to most other conferences existing. And again, more FUD, right? And again, without any knowledge of what the conference was about, what it was going to offer. Now we know people's going to be doing live minting. God knows who else, but there's definitely a lot of opportunities where just attending this conference, you could very much make your money back and then some, right? Like there's going to be donuts with like QR codes in the bottom where you'll be able to claim a grail from like the Proof Pass vault. Like obviously they're trying to do some stuff. You know, I think I was there in the Bright Moments event and in Marfa and speaking with the team members there. And I mean, they were keeping their eyes open. They're not just trying to follow along, you know, Bright Moments and Marfa, but like they're trying to iterate and set their own standards for what a conference should or could be like. So I'm bullish on it. But obviously when they came out, they didn't sell out completely. And that to a lot of people was not good optics, right? I'm confident that by the time Proof of Conference comes out, those tickets will be sold out. But again,
so nothing specifically with Kevin Rose.
Well, that's just like... so there's I would say there's three different things to address. This is the first one, the one that kicked it off.
Okay.
Then right there in the middle, you have the Cairo thing, right? He got hacked. People used it to FUD again, and also the fact that Cairo started selling some of his precious assets. He came out on Twitter and said, I need to rebalance my portfolio. I'm a squiggle degen. I'm getting my squiggles back. I want to get back into squiggles. So I think that was addressed, but for some people, you know, like it's all a conspiracy, or it could be him wanting to exit the space. I don't know, but people really, you know, put gasoline on the fire when that happened. And then
did he sell? Did he sell Proof assets to buy squiggles?
No, he sold a CryptoPunk, the zombie, and a couple of other things. I think like an autoglyph, and yeah, I mean a couple of like really grail pieces. But no, he did not sell Proof assets to do that. At least not that I'm aware of. But I
so far I'm good. Like so far I'm not putted out.
Okay, so then came the whole thing about Moonbirds and Proof, where stuff just started blowing up in the Discord. On the Proof side, it was the issue that Proof has always had not an expiration date, but a 3-year time frame. Where when Cairo announced it, he said, "Give me 3 years, and then after 3 years, I'll tell you what we can and can't do." That has not sat well, especially with people that came into Proof later on and paid 70 or whatever ETH for their paths. And so they wanted some clarification. Mind you, it's in the midst of all this FUD and all this shit. Now people want something written in stone for indentured servitude for the whole fucking team forever, free shit forever. You know, the typical degen fucking desires. And so between that and also the Moonbirds rightfully also saying, hey, like, we're still waiting on deliverables for our stuff. Team is still growing. The team came out and try to address as best they can all these issues. Unfortunately, the optics weren't that great, Mike. You know, like, this is a very conservative team. You know, I think like if you would have gone to any other crypto team, most of them would have just given you this crazy roadmap and all these promises that could or could not happen, right? This team would not do that, you know? And so they faced it head on. And unfortunately, they did say some stuff that caused a lot of people to exit. One of them was that right now, Proof, I mean, all these grails, you can imagine commissioning all these top level blue chip artists to come and do grails. Comes with a hefty price tag, right? And to give them to Proof Collective members at 0.05 minting is not sustainable, right? So they highlighted that issue again and said that at the moment, one of the things that could happen after the 3 years is that they would sunset the Proof Collective and all these benefits would become paid you know, services, right? Whether it's the research or the grails. Now, they didn't say whether Proof would get him at a discount, whether Proof maybe is extended a little further. Like, obviously right now there's no promises being made. And I think that's what really rubbed people the wrong way, especially the people that came in later, right? I can't tell people what to do, not financial advice, but I mean, yeah, I think it's an opportunity for me to flush people out that are just expecting number to go up constantly and not giving people the time to build, right? Cairo came out and said, like, man, I don't want to end the Proof Collective. I want this to go on forever. But I need people to stop fucking, banging on my door every 2 seconds asking about floor price and let me build. Mind you, dude, he just got hacked. Fucking people are flooding the conference and all this shit. It's like, I don't understand how people expect their team to perform at the highest level possible when you're constantly fucking complaining, right? But that's what they chose to do. And that's kind of what we're going through. And it's like a little bit of a tug of war between Moonbirds and Proof and who's the favorite and who should get benefits and how this stuff is going to play out. And there is definitely a lot of confusion. I'm bullish, as long as Cairo is there, as long as Divergence is there, I'm in it until the wheels fall off. Mind you, again, reminder, like my cost basis is substantially lower than most people. But I think when you look at what the team has been doing over the this past year and all the stuff that they're building, everything is setting up for something that's not going to end in 3 years, right? And I think the people that are selling their proof passes right now will come to regret it later on, right? And again, like the fact that Cairo hasn't promised anything or denied too much, it's just like, hey, we're conservative right now, it's not viable, and I'm not going to make these promises that you're demanding it from me, has been enough to get people to sell, But right now we have 5 more Grail seasons going on. If you just do the math on that, say 2.5 per Grail, I mean, you're looking at the price of the proof pass right now. This is not mentioning the research, the networking, the allow list spots, the collabs with other people, right? And taking into account everything that we've gotten last year. To me, yes, it's a bit of a no-brainer, but some people will just complain.
Is that this year? Five this year, or 5 until?
No, so we did 1. We have 2 more Grails, and then next year we're gonna have 3 more. So that makes it 5. And then Cairo's come out again. Like there's other stuff that's in the works, right? Like there's special collabs, like one-on-ones with specific artists. Moonbirds are also gonna have like their own gamified Grail mechanic coming up, also with art. So, I think they're working on delivering substantial value and like premium experiences. They're not trying to be Yuga, right? Like they're trying to define their own space. That it's art. Like they're not trying to compete with it at all. And unfortunately, some people just can't help but compare it to it and demand the same performance and the same thing. I think what they are building something sustainable, something lasting. Cairo said many times that this is his life's work. This is what he wants to do for the rest of his life. I just hope the rest of the fudders don't fucking get to him, because it is a bit I don't know, glaring right now just to see the amount of FUD coming in all directions and just people fucking yakking from all,
Yeah. Here's the worst FUD. Crow always has a cold. Homie needs some vitamin C.
Because he's working his ass off.
So Mark,
he's traveling all the time, and he's a father of 2 girls, dude. Like, you're gonna catch something every now and then.
Right now is the apocalypse for that. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So I think it was Monday's episode, Mark came on and we're talking about Bitcoin, and he, I think, said it really well. He's like, look, the Moonbirds community is amazing, but they do art really well. They don't do utility particularly well, at least not yet. I know they're working on that. But also, this is a big headline. It just dropped. I put it in the chat. Actually, Kevin Rose just announced that he's leaving the Proof Collective. So this is like breaking.
I looked for a tweet too. I looked for a message from you.
Fucking
that's on top of like these nuts.
These nuts.
Honestly, like I've been tempted. I have been tempted, like to maybe pick up a second pass. But again, there's so much great stuff out there. I do want to diversify, so I am keeping my eyes out for Pudgies, for Doodles. particularly.
I do worry. Here's the one thing that I worry about is that like if Kevin Rose did ever leave or something happened, if he's always sick, let's say something happened, he had to leave like Gordon Goner, he does not have as much of a team and an execution as Yuga Labs. I think Gordon Goner can take a leave of absence, and I believe Yuga is going to be okay because of what I've seen from their execution team. And I know that there's Garga and there's other people that understand his vision. Kevin Rose is like the pinnacle figure, as far as I can tell, primarily. And like Ryan Carson is already out and doesn't have great standing right now. Like, to me, so much depends on him that I would be a little bit worried about that. And that's probably what other people are feeling too, little like some of that shakiness. Because
Sure.
it's kind of like if Gary Vee left VeeFriends, like, where do you go from there? He's the face of that whole thing, and everybody looks to him, right?
100%. But like, if you bring it back full circle to what Mike was saying right now and his investment style, I mean, right now there's quite a few people that don't want these passes, obviously, and that don't want these moonbirds. And in my opinion, those are moments to keep your eye out for deals, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Quantavariant for the comment of the day here. Tim Ferriss will then just take over moonbirds.
Tim Ferriss or Alexis Ohanian, right? You know, or I mean, I don't know. Like, I think we have a stellar team. I'm not saying that Cairo is not vital to it and the face of the project. I don't know if I'd agree that it couldn't move forward without him. But
I'm not sure he can leave.
Just remember how much money they've raised, how much money they've made. Here. Like, everything, in my opinion, points in the direction of like serious building for longevity with very serious value. So I can't wait to hear when some other announcement comes down the pipe a year from now or two about what's going to happen with proof passes and all these motherfuckers that sell. I can't wait to hear them whining on Twitter, bitching about how things weren't clear back then and they sold because of these reasons and that. It's you can't help them, right, Mike? Like, it's just, I just much more prefer, like, when everybody's looking one way, I like to look the other one. That's usually when you make the most money.
Thank you for that. That was killer, man. I'm effectively shilled because I've been bouncing it back and forth in my.
I hope it made sense, and I'm happy to talk further about it. It's just, for me, like, it has come to a point where sometimes, like, you know, there's like, I think like 25-30% of like the OGs that we're still like diamond handing, and you know, we talk on the DMs and everything, and all of us are just like, are these fucking people crazy, or like what is it? Like, are we the idiots?
Same things.
Everything.
Same things happen with Doodles. Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, Chungo
way.
So
fantastic quote.
So I don't know if I think you're saying we got to wrap up, but there's one or two other things that I wanted to pull up briefly. Maybe we don't have time to get into all of them, like Edge of Oblivion. Maybe we don't have time to cover, but there's a thing called Web3 FC that I think is cool.
Okay, let me quickly show some things, get anybody's comments. I'm going to drop ZenAcademy's enroll feature here. If you guys have any thoughts on Zeneca coming out with this is like a free mint for their academy feature, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not the premium like community, obviously, but there's like a free
and it's an SBT, isn't it? From what I think it's a soulbound token. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's a soulbound token. I don't know, man. Like, but look, this guy, I think he's like right there with Cairo and with other like people that are just like you can bet on, right? Like, stand up, has ideals, has ethos, stands for certain values. I minted two of them, and I just can't wait to see what he's got up his sleeve, because he sounded pretty giddy in his announcement of it, like that they're gonna have fun with it, and let's see what happens.
Okay, I've got another piece that I want to quickly show. We've been covering We Are Based Heads. Looks like there's a metaverse play here. Although, you know, take these trailers, these hype, like 10-second, hey, this is what we're doing, with a grain of salt, because you could do a lot of cool shit in Unreal Engine these days. But at least we get a really cool little look at Based Heads here. So I'm just going to show this while we talk a little bit about it. You can see this piece here. I mean, again, I don't want to get preemptively talking about how dope this Based Heads metaverse is and all this stuff, but it's at least a start.
Man, I can't. Yeah, I'm a little privy to some stuff coming down the pipe, and I don't know if I'm at liberty to talk about it, so
Spill
I'll
it. Spill the
refrain from it.
Hold
beans.
up.
But
Spill
I
the
am.
tea.
I already said enough on the last show, dude. It's just like we have our own little riff on Dookey Dash, and there's some other couple of things that we might or might not get invited to jump on here. Us Web3 people, us Web3 folk, and I'm pumped about it, dude. There's some really cool stuff coming up.
Okay. All right. That is. I mean, we did have. I wanted to cover the Ether Orcs stuff, but we probably can't get to that now. We are running up on 2 hours, and Mike, like a true degen, stayed the entire time. Appreciate you, brother. Always great to have your takes on the channel and on the network that we originally created, man. That's this is
It's wild.
just coming full circle.
Full circle to buying a proof pass, man. That sounds like the move. Like Biggie has some context. What was it? 3 weeks ago, he was like, "You want to buy a proof pass?" I was like, "It was twice as much as it is now, almost." Like, it's just it's
you're
crazy.
saying my call
like,
was poor.
I never
I get
thought. I never thought we'd see such a dump, but here we are.
Man, yeah, never say never, but it's an opportunity, man. I just hope the people that like jump on now are, appreciators and, people that are in it for the art and the community and the network. Like that's where I've gotten the most value, folks. Like it's Grails is obviously great, but man, the people I've met in Proof are just top notch. And I mean, I can't even quantify the amount of alpha and learning that I've gotten from it. So to me, that just in and of itself makes it worth it. The rest is cherries on top.
Biggie, I think the community is going to find your ass if you're not going to spill this information here. Everybody's kind of coming out.
We don't want to, right? Because
Yeah.
we want Supermassive to keep inviting us to all these cool different events. So, but I love teasing you guys about it. I just know.
Yeah.
I dropped my 2 cents there, and I think the community liked it. And if they do it, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Okay. Gif, you've got the last stories here. We do have to wrap up and close out the show, but what do we got?
Look, I don't want to spend too much time on this one. It would have been good to hit it earlier. Maybe we'll come back to it. This has been
to talk about
off.
Chungos.
Apparently, well, this is apparently. Look, all I know about this is that apparently this is actually like a wrapped Bitcoin NFT, and so I think the idea is that you buy an Ethereum NFT that gets burned to be an ordinal. That's all I understand. This has been trending and popping off. Look at the floor over in ETH. This thing's been popping off over the last 48 hours, and I was kind of curious. That's what somebody told me. I want to learn more. Obviously, we're going to be looking at a lot of these different, sort of ordinal. This is a new meta. Honestly, that's what we're seeing. There's an ordinal meta that's now starting, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff happening with that. So something worth paying attention to. If you know more about it, come on our Twitter show Monday, GM Web3. And tell us all about this project. All right, the last one, Web3 FC. I was in a space with Andrew Yang. Andrew Wang.
Andrew Yang.
I always get it confused.
Yang
It was
Wang.
not Andrew
My
Yang.
man, Yang Gang.
No, it's that other tweet that I had. So apparently he's starting something called Web3 FC. Sounds like it's a community. Here, I can pull it up. It was above that one. It's Web3 FC.
Above what? I'm showing your screen, sir. I don't.
Oh, you're showing my screen? My bad. All right. Share this instead.
Okay.
Here we go. This is it. This is. I don't know if you can hear
Puma.
audio. Yeah, they're partnered with Puma already. Yeah, so I think that this is basically a community of Web3 people coming together to play games, pick up games in different cities and around conferences, like pop-up soccer games. I think that's what it is. But yeah, they've already got a Puma partnership, and it's this new thing, Web3 FC, that I just learned about. I'm excited about that. I would love to connect with more people playing soccer and doing fun shit like that, and through the passion of real football. So you know what? Andrew Wang, good for you, man. I'm here for this. This is cool.
Love it. Andrew Yang, you need to get into NFTs. Last question
Dude,
I have before.
He was at ETH Denver last year, and he is into crypto lobbying. So Andrew Yang is definitely into crypto, and hopefully he'll be at ETH Denver again, because I'm a fan.
Gifted, how much Chungo could a Chungo if a Chungo could?
A chungo.
That's a lot of chungos.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna give
chungo.
Let's go. This has been a fantastic episode, a longer episode per usual. We love to bring you guys the Web3 and NFT news each day of the week, and I think we did a great job here today, talking some early doodles, talking the Yuga show, talking some proof passes. Biggie making a surprise appearance. Mike Finch here, who has been just a traveler, just a Web3 traveler, crypto travel. We've been through like multiple cycles now, Finch. Like it's what we're called is different now. We were crypto enthusiasts, we were NFT enthusiasts, DeFi degens. What do you call yourself these days, Mike? You've been through like 3 cycles at this point. Like how oh, you're muted.
Rookie move. Yeah, I thought you were here for a while, Mike. What happened there?
I didn't want to hear everybody. I didn't want everybody to hear me buying this proof pass. So gotta keep it the way it is. I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, crypto will always go back to being called crypto. And like one of the biggest things I've learned is don't fade like the inherently crypto things. Like everybody always wants to bring crypto to the mainstream, and various folks and projects and things have in a lot of different ways. But at the heart of it, the value is built within the ecosystem. So stick close to those things and do your best to survive. You know.
Love it, man. Love you honestly, being on the channel. Like we want to have you as much as you can. We appreciate you getting on today.
No doubt.
I'll be talking to you soon for sure. Gift, go ahead.
Well, I didn't really hear Mike call himself anything there. I like to call myself an internet culturist and a sophisticated degen, also a Web3 entrepreneur.
I'm a Chungo maxi.
Chungo, whoa.
We made a full circle.
Whoa, holy heck, clip that. Clip that,
or
Jacob.
A stranger's maxi.
Yo, let's go. It's funny because I got the bag and I'm not a Chungo's maxi. But anyway, I think definitely whatever you are, Mike, you definitely got a little degen in you, like the rest of us, which is great. So thanks for hanging out with us. And thank you, all y'all out there, for chilling with us on NFT Live today. We will be back next week. If you haven't checked out FuzzPod, the pilot premiere, it's live right now on YouTube and on Spotify and all the places you can get Web3 network content. And appreciate everybody that has. Appreciate y'all.
Yo, we got a speakeasy tonight as well. Definitely catch that. Biggie, I'll give you the last word before we pop out here, man, just to make your day just that much better.
Dude, I'm so happy that I dropped by, man. It's great having you, Mike. Honestly, I wish you do drop by more often, man. Your insights are always appreciated. And crew, just please light a candle for me. May I not get rugged again tomorrow. I need to make it to my sister's wedding. That would be a fucking tragedy. But other than that, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Love you.
Peace. Oh, J-Paul! You're turning on the burr again! Let's fucking go! Significant decline in inflation! Means number goes fucking up! Burr goes fucking up! We're going to the goddamn moon, boy!